Hey, my name is Eric, and in today's video, we're talking about how to start an LLC in Kansas. So throughout this video, we're going to be talking about how to actually set up your LLC, but some more important terms that you may not be familiar with. So if you've never heard of the terms piercing the corporate veil, registered agent, or commingling funds, I'm going to explain what all of these things mean, and they're really important to making sure that your LLC is legit and there are no cracks in your LLC. So what I want to start with first, though, is if you're going to go to the traditional route of going online through the state website. So if you get to the state website, it'll look something like this right here. And what you're going to do is click Kansas Business Entity Formation here. Unfortunately, you're going to have to create two separate user accounts to do this, which is really strange. But what you can see right here is the limited liability company, $160. So there's no way around that $160 fee. If you hire an attorney, you go through the state website, you use a free online legal tool, you're going to pay that $160 fee to set up your LLC in Kansas. So what you'll do is click here, and I just want to highlight a few things through this process. So if you don't have a name yet, what you can do is on the left-hand side, it talks about name not reserved. This is really important. So when you're choosing a name, it needs to be something unique. So obviously what I've put in here, I just kind of hit the keyboard. I'm going to click continue. Most likely, yep, it's going to ask me to add some sort of designation here. So I'm going to put in LLC here and then click continue. And what you're looking for is that this is available, and then you can continue at this point. Now, this is where the state website kind of loses me a little bit, is it starts talking about resident agent. So at the beginning of this video, I called it a registered agent. There's a few different terms. They're all used kind of synonymously. Registered agent, resident agent are all the same. Basically what it is a third party that is going to accept important documentation for your business and make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. But you can see that it's kind of like pretty loose on what it does here. They just talk about process notice for being sued. And they ask you, is it a registered business entity, an individual in Kansas, or the business entity you're currently forming? Now, what I'd like to do is explain what a registered agent or a resident agent in this case is to a little further detail. So if you go on this site over here, it's called Incfile. It's like LegalZoom, where you can create online legal business entities. If you go down here, they have the 5 bullet points of what that third party person does who has to live in the state of Kansas. So they do official letters and correspondence from your Secretary of State, service of process notice, which was mentioned on the previous page. So if you're sued, making sure that you're appearing in court and getting in your important documents. Official federal government correspondence information and notifications, tax forms and requests for payments, and requests to complete permits, company filings, or reports. So that resident agent is going to be doing these things for your LLC, and that's really important to make sure there are no cracks in your LLC. So what I want to do at this point of the video, though, is just quickly explain what an LLC is and what it is not. Some people think there's some sort of tax advantage for having an LLC. There is not. It is strictly for limiting your liability. Now, the reason that a resident agent is important is they help you to limit that liability. So when you're thinking of your LLC, you can think of your business assets on one side where, you have your business bank accounts, your inventory, perhaps even your furniture, your desk, your computers of your business. Those are all business assets. But then on the personal side, you have your personal home, personal bank accounts, personal cars, etc. What the LLC does is it draws a division between those two asset classes, and that division is called the corporate veil. Now, at the beginning of the video, we talked about piercing the corporate veil. So what that means is, let's say an attorney is suing you and coming after your business. What they're going to do is try to find a crack in your LLC, and they're going to try to pierce the corporate veil so that they can come after your business assets and your personal assets. So that's why the resident agent is important, is they're making sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's and you don't have those cracks in your LLC. So really important. So that's one of the reasons I really like Incfile, is they let you set up your LLC, and it's the same price if you go through the state, but you get a professional registered agent service for a year. So if you scroll down here, business formations for as little as $0 plus state fee, you can click launch my business here, or you can see that they have started over 500,000 businesses since 2004. So what you would do on this page is just select LLC, and then you'd go to and find your state here of Kansas. And there's going to be 3 packages down here. The first one here, the silver package, is the one that is a $0 package fee, and then it's $160 for the state fee, as you saw on the state website. So the part that I wanted to highlight here is the third bullet point. So free registered agent service for a year. Now, we covered what a registered agent is. So what I'm going to do is go back to this article on registered agents, and if you scroll down here, here's where you can see where the pricing kicks in. So you can see that it says that it's $119 annually after that. So first year is free with Incfile, but year 2, year 3, it's $119. So that's how they're making their money on this silver package, is upsells, or if you use the registered agent, year 2, year 3, year 4. But again, really important because they're going to make sure that your business is legit. So it's nice having a professional resident agent for your business. So I do want to cover a couple points in the gold package here. Here's where you can start to see the package fee kicks in for $149. If we scroll down here, you can see everything that it includes. The first thing is the EIN business tax number. So most businesses taxes, as you get set up, you're going to need to get an EIN with the IRS. So what I have here is the actual page that you can use right here if you want to set this up yourself, if you want to save some money. I should mention that all of the links and resources that I've mentioned in this video are going to be in the description below. So if you want to use this link, it's in the description for you. So this will walk you through, if you need an EIN, how to apply online. I can say I'm a small business owner myself, and I did this process myself, and I wish I paid somebody else to do it because it was a pain in the butt. I feel like anytime I do anything with the IRS, I'm like just scratching my head. But if you want to do it yourself, you can. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention here is the business banking account. So if we go down to the second last bullet point here, currently what they do is they set up through Bank of America, but this is really important when you're setting up your business because you don't want to do something that's called commingling funds. You probably remember that from the beginning of the video. What that means is, let's say you have a personal bank account and you start running your business funds through it. So incomes, expenses are running in and out of your personal bank account. What you're doing is commingling funds. And again, as we mentioned before, if you were to be sued, that attorney suing you is going to try to pierce the corporate veil. They're going to try to find cracks in your LLC. And if they realize that you've been commingling funds, that's a no-no, and they can potentially come after not only your business assets, but your personal assets as well. So you can see why it's kind of nice having a package like this where they're already covering a lot of your bases for you and making sure that your LLC is legit. The other thing I'll mention too is if you have a business bank account day one, it makes tax time and bookkeeping so much easier. Because what you'll be able to do is go through one business bank account. It's going to have all of your incomes and expenses in there, and you'll be able to do your bookkeeping from that account. Versus if you're running everything through your personal bank account, it's a nightmare when it comes to bookkeeping and tax time because you're trying to figure out what's what throughout the account. So super helpful to do that day one. Now, if you look at the platinum package over here, obviously more expensive, $299 package fee plus your $160 state fee. Some of the nice things about this is if you want to just get everything set up day one, domain name and business email, if you want an expedited filing, so this is going to be processed faster. And there's just a lot of good things in this package, but that's your call. Depends on what your budget's like. One other thing I want to show you right here is the gold package. If you click on this or any of these packages and we scroll down a little bit, you can see a tax savings benefit over here that this is a fully deductible business expense. So no matter what route you go, if you go through the state website, an attorney, or using this online tool, just know that you want to keep your receipts because you're going to be able to deduct those at tax time. Now, I haven't talked much about attorneys and why you might want to hire one. Obviously, the downside is the cost. I mean, you're going to add an extra $800 to $3,000 depending on your situation and who you hire. But the upside of hiring an attorney is in a few cases. So let's say that you have a business that has a high degree of liability. These might be businesses that are, your roofing company, tree trimming service. You can imagine that there's a lot more liability in that business compared to owning a comic book store. You may want to consult with an attorney. If you're already doing sales in and out of state, that's where you might be getting into like domestic and foreign LLCs. You'd want to talk to an attorney. And another reason that you might want to talk to an attorney is if you have over $45,000 of net income in your business today and you haven't set up an LLC yet, you might want to speak with an attorney. Now, the reason I mentioned $45,000 is you may want to consider actually doing an LLC with an S-Corp designation, which obviously gets a little more complicated. But what I'm going to do in this next video here is explain how you can potentially save on taxes. Even if you're not there yet, it's helpful to know in the future. And again, guys, thank you for using my links in the description below as they help to support my YouTube channel. All right, I'll catch you in that next video.